Hello and welcome back to Logan Sounds Off. Today I am speaking to the incredible folk duo Kinsella and Quirke of the legendary Lemoncello, who released their self-titled debut recently. I was really happy to get it on gatefold vinyl. Make sure to get it for yourself if you enjoy Lemoncello. It sounds 10 times better on vinyl, so I'm really excited to speak to you two. How are you guys?
Great.
Very good.
How are you?
Happy to be talking to you, Logan.
Thank you so much, and I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. The weather's very just grim at the moment here in Ireland. We're not really getting much of a summer. It's kind of like a damp version of October this whole summer, but you know, at least we don't have extreme weather, so we've got that at least. But for those who don't know and are unfamiliar with Lemoncello and the group and your latest album, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, we met a good few years ago now. We met in Maynooth. We both just kind of found a shared love of the same kind of music, and yeah, we just decided to start playing together. I play the cello and Laura plays the guitar, and
We sing.
and then we sing together as well. So it kind of just born out of a friendship there, I suppose. And we started playing around kind of open mics, and we started busking around different cities in Ireland. And that's just kind of how we started arranging songs together. And yeah, it just grew from there, really.
Mainly wanting to, while we were in college, we were studying music, and I was studying French and Claire was studying Irish, and it was a great excuse to not go to lectures, just, like doing the real practical side of music, like, like, yeah, arranging stuff together and yeah, so it was mainly like really enjoying spending time together, I think, first of all.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the music sort of grew from that.
And thank God it did. The new album is fantastic. So if you're listening to the interview, check it out afterwards. All the links to everything Lemoncello down below. So, first of all, I just want to go back to the start when you guys were younger, growing up. I know you guys didn't start with the guitar or the cello, that many different instruments led to there. But I know around the house, a woman's heart was played a bit, and many other different inspirations. But what was it that you were listening to at that time growing up?
You go on first, Declan.
I'll go on first, Laura.
I get time to think then.
I know, yeah, this is a classic interview technique. We put the other one on the spot. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about this a little bit this morning, kind of anticipating that you might ask something like this. It's something that always stumps me because it's so varied, over your youth and that kind of thing. But I think it was a lot of my dad's music as well. He used to make we used to burn CDs and like have them in the car. So it was a lot of like random kind of singles. He'd make his own CDs, and we'd drive. I'm from Donegal, and we used to go to Kerry on holidays, so it'd be like really long journeys.
Oh wow.
I know, funny that. I don't know why we decided to go to the other side of the country, but sure, that's what we did. And yeah, I think there was a lot of kind of 60s and 70s kind of rock or folky stuff that kind of probably infiltrated it into my taste pretty early on, like Mamas and Papas, and a lot of Beatles and Beach Boys and that kind of crack as well. And yeah, I think that like Simon Garfunkel, yeah, I think that they really kind of were forming for me, were like a forming kind of time for me, even though I was just a kid. That was what you were kind of surrounded by. And yeah, and then I suppose when I was about your age, I started kind of exploring music for myself, then a little bit more from my older siblings. Like she listened to a lot of like Fiona Regan and like Regina Spektor and different Irish artists that were kind of on the go, and like kind of early 2000s, I suppose, mid 2000s. And it just kind of opened a world to me that I didn't really, I don't know, I don't know, there's just a kind of a sense of discovering yourself or something through finding artists that you really resonate with. And I think it started with a lot of maybe 60s, 70s music, and then kind of more Irish songwriters then, from the mid 2000s kind of era, like Lisa Hannigan and that kind of thing as well. So something in between then. I suppose I grew up playing classical music as well, so there's definitely that infiltrated into how I hear music, I suppose, because playing in orchestras and stuff, you've got like one line in a giant harmony, you know what I mean? It's always interesting to hear your part in context with loads of other instruments. So I think that maybe formed how I enjoy hearing music and how I enjoy hearing like harmonies and that kind of thing. Probably a mixture of those.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Something like that anyway.
I never heard you speak about it like that before, so that was really good.
This is good interviewers. This is what happens.
This is great now. This is fantastic.
I think, yeah, for me, I was like you, Logan. I was obsessed with the radio when I was your age, and maybe even younger. But I was listening to a lot of pop music, really, like a lot, like just sort of incessantly listening to like the top 40 hits or whatever it was. And like, I don't know whether in my house, like my parents were into like Neil Young and
Oh, wow.
and Leonard Cohen and all those kind of, as well. Like my mom was obsessed with that Woman's Heart album and like a Marvin Gaye album, so that they were kind of the things that were in the house. But I was definitely listening to them, like the Cars as well, stuff like that. But like I don't think I really connected to it as much until I was older. When I was younger, I was just really obsessed with like pop choruses and like the effect that pop music has on you, like and I think like that's it, like what like in the early 2000s, I suppose, that would like anything of that time. So it wasn't any really specific artist as such, you know what I mean? But like any like sometimes I'll be just like in a shop and a song will come on of that time and I just know all the lyrics like note for note, so it's sort of strange because it's not like I would have really connected to any particular artist, but the songs more so. And then I played traditional music. I played tin whistle and flute, and then when I learned how to play guitar, I sort of dropped the flute and I dropped tin whistle, which I regret now because I really want to be able to just sit in a session and not have to sing a song, but like be able to just jam away with everyone else. So I'd love to relearn tunes and stuff, but I don't have that knack at the moment. But yeah, so like I think those melodies definitely had an influence on me. And then like there was a lot of traditional music around home as well, sessions and things like that I would go to. And then I think then when I got into my teenage years, I started really getting into like Air, French band.
Wow, Air.
Yeah, and like Tom Waits and like things like that, but like Nick Cave, like lots of just random stuff, but like really obsessed over like particular albums, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But then around that time as well, I started watching Miles O'Reilly's videos, and he was like at that time documenting sort of the scene that was happening in Dublin or around Ireland. And like, so it would have been the likes of Lisa Hannigan, so some of her tour diaries, and Mick Flannery and Villagers and Fionn Regan.
Wow.
All those really amazing lyricists. And I think, and Lisa O'Neill as well. And I think like something happened then. I was probably about 15 or 16, and like just like to know that like those people existed so close, like in like it wasn't far away. It was like in Ireland, and they were doing really cool things. It was like, oh, maybe it's possible to do this as a thing that you do with your life, so I started going to all of their gigs. And so yeah, it's such a mix mash of things. And I think that's also like, if you grow up in the era of the internet, like we just kind of, we grew up not having phones, not having the like we had dial up or whatever when we were growing up. But then as soon as we were able to get like, get to music, get to YouTube really easily, like it's not one genre of music that you're really influenced by. It's sort of, it's just everything, isn't it? You can listen to everything at like a click of a button. So it's kind of hard to know what exact I don't know, yeah, what really influenced it. It's just everything.
Yeah.
Sort of
It all
difficult.
comes together.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And actually, where you mentioned there, Air, Tom Waits, and Nick Cave, they're actually three people that I'm listening to an awful lot at the moment. I've been really kind of getting into Air, and where you're saying there just about obsessing over one album, Night Hawks at the Diner by
Oh,
Tom
yeah.
Waits. My dad went into Golden Discs, and he picked up Night Hawks at the Diner for me. And I went, oh my God, I forgot about this album. And I listened to the first side and I was like, I forgot how crazy this album was and how funny and how
Yeah,
like
so
story like it was. So
such good humor.
I listened to that going to bed every night for like a month. I loved it because it was like a spoken word show or a comedy show. It was just fantastic. And Nick Cave, I've been learning a lot more now with the new album coming out soon, Wild God. So I'm pretty excited for that. But no,
Yeah.
that's really interesting. And I know you guys mentioned that you originally met in university and that you started busking and playing live, and that's where it really was at. But in 2018, you released your EP, Stuck Upon the Staircase. What inspired you to get into the studio and release something as an actual EP?
First of all, thanks for getting the name of it right.
No,
Surely no one can get the full title.
We
It's
say
just
stuck up on the staircase, and you're like, no, I didn't. No,
Stuck
really
upon.
translate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely just like we're ready to have something to show people. You know, it was kind of, you know, when you're doing it anyway, and it's just a matter of discipline of sitting down, you know, getting an engineer to record it and putting it out. So we'd never done it before, obviously, so it was just kind of like going with what we knew, with people we knew, and just popping it out into the world. And yeah, it was just definitely like, we're doing this anyway, so let's just put this out there.
It was cool though because we actually kickstarted that EP.
Oh yeah.
And we started a Kickstarter and we were like, we were so ambitious with it. Like we had so many rewards for people, and the rewards took like months to fulfill afterwards. Like I was doing, like, not that I'm in any way good artist, but I was doing like paintings for people and like and like lyric books and all this stuff because we thought we wouldn't be able to make the money unless we offered like a really competitive
we were like
Kickstarter campaign.
We were like, €30, you get to come over to our house, we'll cook you dinner, and we'll organize a session. Because we were like, no one's gonna do this. And then it got the goal in like 2 days, and we were like,
got the
oh
goal,
my God,
like,
we have so much work to do.
Yeah, and
Never mind record the EP, it was all the other jobs we had to do that
exactly.
took our time.
We definitely should have asked for more money. Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
But we met so many people doing that as well. That was a really good thing to do.
Amazing friends.
Yeah. Like that session that people came over to our house. We made them dinner and we held a session in our house for them. Like we met some really good friends through that we're still friends with now. So it's just funny. Yeah, definitely a good thing to do at the start of your project, I think. Way of getting it out there as well.
That's really, really cool. And to think now that's 6 years old is insane.
It is.
I know.
Yeah.
But like, because
slow.
it's funny. Like I'm 13, and like I don't look at anything on a timeline apart from music. So if I see an album going 2019, I went, oh, that's fairly new. That was 5 years ago.
Oh
Like,
gosh. Yeah, that's madness, isn't it?
It's that kind of thing. Or 2020 or 2021, that came out during quarantine, like 3 years ago. And it's insane looking back on albums that I've forgotten about for years and then they come back. But I actually only recently heard that EP, so it's cool. Just it's really funny though with the Kickstarter campaign, but that's really cool to hear. But you released another EP there, Oil and Water.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got mixed up there in my head. Yeah, Oil and Water, released 4 years ago now. And now recently, this year, you've released your self-titled debut album, which is fantastic. I love it. It's one of my favorite albums in my collection. So, what I wanted to ask you guys, first of all, congratulations on releasing the album that I find that it now is for everybody to listen to. Listening to some of the songs, even for anybody who doesn't know, regarding Lemoncello, they have this song called Dopamine. And the first time I learned of Lemoncello was listening to Dopamine at 10 o'clock and it was dark outside. Just going to sleep listening to Dopamine. It was really strange, but quite cool. And Dopamine is a fantastic track. But the thing that I found really interesting about Dopamine was the concept behind it, especially the video. I love the video. Well done on it. It's really, really cool. And it's basically just about people being constantly on their phones, if you don't know. My question is regarding this album, because that's only one song. What was the songwriting process like? Because I know you didn't write all the songs in this album, but you did write a fair few. Could you tell us a little bit about what the songwriting process was like?
Yeah, we wrote all of them except for Lagan Love. Oh, sorry, and Michael Fury is
The
well,
lyrics.
it's our the
Mm.
lyrics are Stephen James Smith's poem, and then the song, I suppose I put those words to song then. So yeah, the songwriting process, it was over a long time. Maybe that's what happens with a first album also, but it was kind of, I feel like this album is, see, the funny thing about it as well is that we recorded this album in 2021 and early 22, so it's been finished since then. So for me, this album kind of feels like learning how to write songs. I know that also the EPs were a bit like that too, but this album really feels like where I kind of knew what it was that I could do with a song or something when I was starting off with it, and so it kind of feels like a bit of a discovery, and I think that that's why maybe all the songs feel, maybe they are all connected, and I think the way that they're connected is sort of this sort of self-discovery, or like sort of holding of your own independence or your own sort of vitality and like strength or something, which maybe I felt like as a younger person I didn't have, or I didn't know I had. And so as I grew older, I sort of found a certain confidence or strength in myself that I think then this album is sort of the document of it, lyrically just. And I think together it was a little bit like that too in the studio, I think. And like and in arranging it, and because as well we've played a lot live. That's the thing, like we've toured a lot, and I think even before we released this album, we were singing these songs live. You know, we didn't hold them back or anything for the album tour, so we were sort of writing them as we played them live.
And as it was being recorded too, you know, like some of them were written after we started recording, you know, and arranged, and so there's a mix in there of like songs that were established and we had arrangements for, and songs that were born of the time of recording, which are arranged in a different way, like Harsh Truths and Old Friend were kind of made during the process, and that was different because they were made more in the studio than performing like live as we would have done. I suppose being the time that it was in and stuff, there wasn't much live performance, so it was kind of a different approach for us as well. But yeah, so there was kind of like, there was challenge in that as well, but there was a lot of like, yeah, as Laura said, kind of facing yourself and kind of saying, right, what do I want? Because you're in the studio now and you have to make decisions and you have to put down parts and that kind of thing. So it's it was kind of like a challenge of what your intuition wants, I suppose. And
like not looking to someone else to make the decision for you, but like actually just looking inward and going like, what do I really like here? What do I really want in this situation?
And that has lent to the album being recorded on tape as well, because you know you have to really make decisions there. And there's not 10 versions that you have on a tape. It's like there's one, or else you're recording over it, kind of thing. Like there's no more space on the tape. Like
it's pretty intense, but it does pay off, because the analog sound, and I kind of had this self-realization. I was watching somebody say, these are the best kind of audiophile vinyl you can have. And I was watching it anyways, and I realized the reason why a lot of these are good is because they're from 70s and 80s. It wasn't MP3 to analog, it was analog to analog. And that's what I love about this album. And I do actually would like to ask, because you had so little tape that you couldn't have your 10 versions, were there many songs that didn't make the album?
There was one.
There was one, there was definitely, there was one that was on there that we just said, no, that's...
And we had to do a couple, well, the thing is, you can do multiple versions, you just have to delete. You know what I mean? Like you have to say,
record over it, really.
Record over it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can't just keep it and like, you know, compare them or whatever. But so we did a couple, we did another version of All the Good Men afterwards, because in the first one,
it was up 3 keys higher.
it was too high. And then
we're like, we sound like children singing. Really, way too high for us.
And also just felt a little bit too like happy-go-lucky or something, because that song is quite moody. Sort of like it's supposed to be quite wintry or something. But one song called In Retrospect, which we did play live, and Claire played the banjo on it. It was our other banjo number for our live gigs, but that didn't make it because it just felt like it wasn't the right arrangement of it.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, and that was kind of like a learning process where you're, you know, you kind of go into it and you're rolling with it, and luckily a lot of the time it worked out, but in that case it was like, this didn't work. Let's just call it.
In retrospect, it didn't work.
Move on.
But hopefully that song might come out sometime. We'll see. But that's really interesting, and I would love to ask you guys about the analog process, because it's completely different, and it is quite difficult. And I found it really interesting that you said that, because in another interview that I read with you guys, you mentioned that you saw Adrienne Lenker. I don't know, am I pronouncing that right? I never speak to anybody about her, but she went analog to analog with her latest album. So I went, that's really interesting. Because that album sounds terrific. She's a really good singer. I love her latest single, Once a Bunch. It's really a beautiful song.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Oh, you should definitely check it out.
I definitely will,
it's very good. But I wanted to ask you guys about that analog process. What was it like, and what were the kind of differences between doing it digitally and doing it the analog fashion? Or are there many differences?
Probably the most differences that you could get, I would say. It's real, it feels entirely different. But there is I don't know, I think there's a difference in closeness to it or something. Like, if I'm just thinking about digital, like you could record one song all day and all night, and then the next day listen and be like, that was it was the first one all along, or it was, none of them can be used. You can kind of just feel real distance from your takes and your performances, but I think there's something about analog that you're really close to it, because you're really aware of, I suppose, like the stakes, kind of, you know what I mean? You only have like a physical thing that you're working with, and you have to be really kind of in tune with yourself when you're listening back, and you have to be trusting yourself too. So I think that there's a certain closeness that you have with recording to analog to the songs that it'd be a bit harder to feel in digital, just because of the scope, and you know what I mean? It's kind of boundless. You can do whatever, you can fix anything and edit and do a million takes and stuff. So there's a kind of like a special quality to that as well, that it's just such an intention, I think, behind it. You have to be intentional.
I think as well, it's part of the process for us was working with Julie McLarnon, and because she was the one who recorded and co-produced the album, and I think just she she spent a lot of time in her late teens and early 20s in studios, like record, like being like helping out at like Joy Division and those kind of records, and like she was in like kind of punk bands and stuff, and she just has like sort of, I suppose maybe she had different references than we would have had, And so then when she was listening to us, she was putting her own kind of lens on it. And that was really interesting to me when I was hearing it back, because like, just like say the reverb that she would choose to put on my voice, or the way that she would like mic the guitar and reamp it and stuff like that, like it gave an extra quality to it that maybe we wouldn't have done ourselves or something, you know, just in terms of sonics and stuff. So that was interesting as well.
That's really, really that's a great, interesting point there. I didn't really look at it that way. And I would love, I know I'm skipping over the rest of the tracks. I'm sorry, album, but I want to just skip down to the last one, Lagan Love, which I am not into a lot of traditional Irish music. So this is the first time I discovered this song, and I didn't know that the Chieftains covered it either, or sorry, did it either. But I wanted to ask you guys, why did you decide to cover this song on your album?
We just really like singing it, I think, is the main reason. Like, I heard it once in a session and I was just obsessed with the melody, and then went and found the lyrics to it, and it was really fun working out the harmonies to it. Like that day is kind of really distinct in my head. I remember doing it at home in Carlo. And I think, I don't know, just it feels really powerful when we're singing it together. Like there's just something really fun about like the closeness of the harmony, and like where it meets in the middle, and like that with like the sort of emotion of the song. It just really, it's very satisfying, you know.
There's something very satisfying about the forwardness of two voices, you know, and singing in unison as well. We enjoyed having that as part of it too. It's I think it suits the last
it's thematically relevant
song.
too, in that like there's sort of this common thread throughout. It's like some of the songs are about, or you know, to me they're sort of about like, you know, whether you would like to spend time, you know, doing one thing or doing another thing, and what sacrifices you would make for a person, or for love, or you know, for your family, or this sort of thing. And that song is a lot about sacrifice for love, and like the end lyric being love is Lord of all. I think like that felt like a really good way to end the album.
Yeah, it's quite a heavy lyric, but also quite a beautiful one to end the album on. So it is quite cool to hear. And I do have just a very simple question, but I'm curious because I was watching some TikToks of you guys opening up the record and like showing it in the CD and everything, and it was just really nice to see you guys loving it. As simple as can be, what was it like releasing the album? What was the kind of reactions that you got? Because putting out this album was obviously a really big deal to you guys, and a big deal to your fan base as well, getting a whole 9 songs from you guys.
Yeah, it was a huge release for us, like even, you know, as people and everything. It
felt like doing a massive poo.
Okay then. I'm not sure how to respond to that.
No pressure there, no pressure.
No pressure.
Okay.
No, but you know, you
Like,
have so
it was sitting there, but
you're just sort of holding on to this thing forever, and it starts to just like, you start to look at it differently when you can't look at it in the context of other people, or you know, it's too close to you, you know, and it really feels good to get it out into other people's ears. That's kind of like, I think it helps for new stuff to come along. It helps to just like move on with your life.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it was we were really delighted with the response. You know, it was, I don't know, it's something that you kind of live in your own world for such a long time when you're making a record, and you know, it kind of just feels like your own little private thing that you're keeping in a shrine in your room or something, you know. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's everyone else's. And it did feel new to us again, I think, for that reason, you know what I mean? Because it was something that we had for a while, and then just kind of
was a relief.
passing it over, you know what I mean, to everyone else to interpret or enjoy or whatever. So yeah, it was a huge release for us in a lot of ways, and we are really delighted with the final album, you know.
Yeah, and then to be able to tour it and like for people to be listening to it, it's quite surreal when you have kept it to yourself for so long that now people, like even you listening to Dopamine on the radio, it's sort of it's just a funny thing to think about, people having their own little relationship to it, you know. That's an experience of some of your time spent with the music. It's just really cool.
Yeah, it's really class. Cool. Yeah, because we both love obviously listening to albums and get really emotionally invested, and it can mean so much. So, you know, if it can do that for somebody, then that's incredible.
Well, I know Dopamine was very catchy for me. Once I found it like on Spotify, I was playing it constantly. My sister was walking around the hall singing it today because I've been singing it so much. It's going, give me don't walking down the hall. People going, yes, I have it in your head. No.
Yeah, you really passed the button. People have come up to us almost angry. It's like, yeah, I can't get that song out of my head. It's been 3 weeks now, which is, what do I do? You know, when you just start like a therapy group or something for people who can't get their heads.
Well, I'm kind of happy that it's in my head. It's a great track. So there you go. But if you want to stream or buy, if you want to buy Lemoncello's latest album, links down below. It's a fantastic album, and I love the orange color scheme here, guys. It's really, really cool. It's one thing that caught my eye. So check that out. On sale now on everything down below. But I just want to ask you guys, because you could be either basking in the orange glow of the recent success of this album, or are you working on anything at the minute? Are you maybe recording anything yourselves? Are you playing around with any songs, writing, or are you just focusing on gigs at the moment?
Yeah,
big time.
We're doing a lot of writing and arranging at the minute of new songs. There's a whole heap there that we're working through and just chiseling down and arranging, and
it's really fun actually.
Very fun.
At the moment, well, we had like when the album was coming out and when we first released it, we were really, really busy touring, like just didn't really have any time to come home and work on songs. But now we're sort of working, like we have gigs at the weekends, and so during the week we have a bit of time to focus on the new stuff, which is it's a really nice pattern actually.
It's really
keeping it alive,
exciting. Yeah, we're doing a lot of demoing and things like that, and just it's really exciting to kind of be pathing out what the next thing is going to sound like and trialing different ideas. But yeah, hopefully get into the studio very soon.
That's really cool. And I know you're doing a lot of gigs at the moment. I know you have two, one upcoming in Castlebar, and one coming up in the Sugar Club as well. So just for anybody who wants to see you guys in the flesh, who wants to hear Dopamine right in front of them, where can they find your gigs, tickets, or anything? Or where are you going to play that you'd like to let people know of regarding upcoming gigs?
Yeah, it should all be on our website. It's lemoncelloireland.com, and there's a wee button for tour there, so you should be able to see the upcoming shows on there. And yeah, we're really excited about that one in the Sugar Club in Dublin. It's we love the venue, and I think it's going to be really fun. We're gonna
November
14th. Yeah,
14th. Yeah,
we're gonna be trialing out hopefully a couple of new things too, as well as making sure everyone gets their dopamine fix, you know.
That's brilliant. So if you guys want to see that, website down below, go to tickets, and hopefully you can get one to see them in the Sugar Club and many other places. So now I've just got two little quick questions for you guys for a bit of fun. Remember I was telling you about the last question, so we'll get to that in just a second. I have one quick question for you guys regarding upcoming musicians, which you guys were 6 years ago with the debut EP. So you've come a long way with this latest album. I'd love to know, what tips would you give to upcoming musicians? Just any tips, really.
I would probably try to find people that you really trust, and that kind of share your
Yes.
ideas and your taste. I think once you have a community around you, or like a group of people that you kind of know in your gut feels right, that's a really good thing to have around you as a kind of a support thing. And as well, like if you want to, like, I don't know, record with them or play with them, it's just like, I think it's a really important thing to have a sort of a community around you if you can. And just getting recording, I think, like, it's something that
Yeah, I think don't wait for the right time, like it's like yeah, life's a bit too short for that. I think it's and don't worry about whether something is good or not, or if it's at a good standard yet. I like, if I was to go back kind of a couple of years, and if I was able to talk to myself, I would probably just advise myself to just put stuff out there faster and make mistakes faster, because it's only by doing, like, getting, like, everybody does bad stuff at the beginning, and I think, like, it's only by doing enough of that you get to the point where you can actually make something good. And there's always something, like, if you really want to do it, there's always something in it that will be honest and good. And I think, yeah.
yeah. And I think that when we were starting off, we thought there was some sort of code. Like, we
Or
were like, where's the code? Where's the key to get into this whole thing that we want to do? But there isn't any. And it's just a matter of putting yourself out there and releasing and just trying to meet as many people as you can. And I think that that's, yeah, not to get too bogged down in all the other crap. Like, just make sure the thing itself is good and you can stand behind it.
Yeah, and also I think to have the confidence to do the work as well. Like, sometimes you'd be sort of looking and seeing, like, what you can learn and what you can learn from other people, and that's really, really good as well. But I think, like, it does just take a lot of graft as well to make music that you want to make. Like, a lot of just closing the door and getting real quiet and sitting with what you want to make and making it, and don't be afraid of that quiet and that time, like, that it'll take to do it as well.
Well, that's a brilliant tip. So hear that, upcoming musician, get out there and make music. Brilliant. But that's some brilliant tips. Really, really clever, guys. Thank you so much for that. And now for my last, and it's a really fun question, is recommendations. Singles, albums, artists, whatever, books. What would you like to recommend?
Oh my God, I remember that album I was telling you, this guy. I'm just gonna look up the name of it here so I don't get it wrong.
Of course.
It's this cellist. He's called, I think his name is David Dowling, but he went to a tribe somewhere, and I think it was like Sri Lanka or something. I'm probably gonna get that wrong, but he's just got this incredible album.
David Darling.
David Darling
And Wulu Bonon.
Wulu Bonon. You should check
Wulu Bonon, seems like they're kind of like a native choir tribe or something.
They're a tribe, yeah. He went out there. I think there's a documentary, but I haven't been able to get it. But it's just basically, he kind of wanted to merge, I suppose, Western music with like Eastern, or just kind of meet in the middle and just see how they got on. So he recorded a lot of their kind of songs and singing, and it's all kind of very like repetitive kind of group. There's like a group singing, there's a song that kind of has like mainly like kids' voices. And I just love that sound of like loads of kids like just going for it, like singing.
Yeah.
He's just like arranged this incredible cello stuff around it. And yeah, I've been kind of listening to that on repeat recently. It's amazing, the arrangements that he came up with around their kind of their indigenous music, I suppose. So that would definitely be a recommendation.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of Nala Seinfeld. Do you know of her?
No.
Yeah.
How do you spell that? Sorry.
NALASINEPHRO.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not sure if I pronounced her second name right, but I've been listening nonstop to her album called Space 8. And it's kind of an ambient album, but it's got lots of jazz influence in it, and it's so calming. It's like there's just certain frequencies in that album that I can't find anywhere else. I don't know what it is about them, but like instantly when I listen to it, I feel calmer, especially the track Space 8 on that album is just stunning. But yeah, I don't know what else I've been listening to apart from her. I've just been listening to that album.
Definitely, yeah, rabbit hole stuff.
Yeah.
If you like that kind of ambient stuff though, it's really simple, but I love it. Aphex Twin is re-releasing Selected Ambient Works Volume 2 soon, on like a big 4 LP box set.
Class.
But he re-released 19, but a longer version. So it's like 10 minutes, but it's amazing. And
Yeah.
like that was the first song I ever listened to by Aphex Twin. So if you like that, you might enjoy that as well.
Yeah.
It's just really
also,
weird.
Yes, I also listened the other day to Stella and the Dreaming. We've had her open for us twice now. Once in Wexford, and the other time, when was the other time?
It was in Waterford. Yeah, Waterford.
Yeah, in Waterford. And she's just a brilliant singer, like songwriter, producer. Like her voice is so beautiful, and I'm really excited for what she's gonna make. She has 3 tracks out on Spotify, but she's just so cool. I was listening to her the other day while doing my shopping. Paddy McKeown as well. He has an amazing album out called The Good Step. Guitar.
He's a
traditional guitar
Belfast-based musician. He writes all his own tunes and kind of has a bit of an ambient vibe going along with it too. Definitely recommend checking out his album. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Who else?
Let me see. Oh yeah, I've been getting really into the latest Jessica Pratt record. Have you listened to that?
No, actually, no.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Really like that as
Bess
well.
Atwell's new album as well.
Bess Atwell, yeah. Saw her playing in London there recently. She's very good. Such a good songwriter. Yeah. So much good stuff.
Brilliant music coming out at the moment. I was looking back to it this year going, 2024 has had some really weird albums, some awful albums, but mainly it's had some actually fantastic albums.
It's been a great year.
It's been a pretty good year music-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very interesting watching albums come out constantly now. So
Are you finding it interesting or exhausting, Logan?
a bit of both. Honestly, I'm a bit too overstimulated by music at this stage. If I was to recommend one album just for anyone who's listening, because I actually haven't posted about this at all, No Name by Jack White is a fantastic album.
Great.
Honestly, really good. For anybody who doesn't know who Jack White is, he's from the White Stripes. So just by saying that, even, he's brilliant. But no, thank you for those recommendations. They were really good. And thank you for those tips. They were excellent. And thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. It was great speaking about the latest album. Again, if you want to stream or buy it, down below. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me on the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having us and for your questions and for listening to the album.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Classic.
Yeah. Thanks,
it's fine, really, guys. I've loved chatting to you guys. And I can't wait to listen to more Lemoncello. So thank you so much for that.
Thanks a million, Logan.
Thanks, Logan.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.